That was a hip fire headshot. I feel kind of bad about that. And you can just... What? You can blow away so hard they get stuck in the ceiling. G'day, guys. My name's Josh. You can call me Woodle, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die in the brand new Alpha 17.3 Build 18, the brand new update they just released for 7 days. And to celebrate that, I am back in a wildly overgrown Woodle Park. I don't actually mind it too much with the like all the trees and stuff. I mean, I wish the trees were actually on the ground rather than hovering, you know, a little bit up in the air. But whatever, glitches are glitches, and glitches get stitches, or however you want to make a rhyme out of that. But I'm back in the new Woodle Park, or the old Woodle Park, the broken Woodle Park, because with this update, they've brought out a whole range of different ways to build your base. And you all know how much I'm a fan of building bases and testing AI and doing all sorts of stuff, which is the whole reason that this entire world exists. So as soon as I can find a place anywhere in this world where I can build a base again, there are some new things I want to test out. There's one base I've got in mind, which is a little bit of a tinkering, one of my old designs, one of my favorite designs, that I think will work really well in this new update. So I'm just going to fly around, find a nice clear patch without any trees or anything else in the way, and start building. That looks like a nice place. And start building a brand new design. That should be just about big enough. There still isn't a way to quickly clear grass in 17.3. So like, you can't throw a Molotov and burn down the grassy plains. You have to clear it all by hand. And I know I could use the POI remove tool, but it makes my map look awful. Like when I did it for the stapler, the melee only base down here, now I've just got like this big, just like brown turd on my map, and it looks awful. So I don't want to do that anymore, but I've got my space now, so I can build something just like up from here, right about in the middle, right about there. That'll do. It's going to be another like elevator corridor type, just kind of test the theory. I know I build corridors a lot, but like building off like ground level is the best way to do it in Alpha 17 for sure. But this way should hopefully turn out reasonably well. It's not going to be like the killing corridor, for example, is my favorite base, and it's a very low maintenance base. There's not a lot of work you have to do to keep that running after a horde or whatever. They don't do a lot of damage, and you can kind of sit there and leave it up and not have to do much to have it ready for the next horde, which is kind of the way to go for 7 Days to Die. But for this one, I'm going to have to sacrifice a couple of blocks. It's going to be a relatively high maintenance base, but it's just kind of testing the theory. If you're desperate for some XP, this should be a pretty easy way to go about it. My voice isn't quite what it needs to be yet. I'm sorry that I missed yesterday. There was a gap in my video schedule for the first time in a long time. My voice is almost back to normal, but I mean, listen, I couldn't stay away from you guys that long. I had to come back. I had to make more content. I just love it that much. So this is going to be my testing platform. Those of you who have watched any of the series that I do really at all will recognize this as like a basic version of the killing corridor. But so normally I would put in like a hatched drawbridge here, and I'd put in some barbed wire down here, and make it so that like you have to manually kill the zombies, which is important in Alpha 17 because trap damage doesn't give you XP at all. So you have to kill them yourself. So this is like the best way to do it. Well, the actual killing corridor is the best way to do that, and kind of like wear down the zombies over time because they keep doing the loop. You can keep peppering with arrows as much as you like. But I want to know if there's a better way to do it, or at least a different way to do it that might be a little bit better off, like a bigger horde with stronger zombies where they might not want, like they might jump the gap. Spider zombies especially, or cop zombies can do some serious damage if you don't take care of them quickly in the killing corridor. So I'm thinking with this, instead of putting in some barbed wire and whatnot, just putting in some pillar 50s, just like this, just all the way down like that, because with the new update in 17.3, they've fixed how the pillar 50s work. I talked about this in the last episode, but previously in Alpha 17, zombies could squeeze their decaying, decrepit bodies through these gaps all the way down and get all the way down, like through whatever pillar 50 gaps you might have, and get inside and fuck up your face, which wasn't any good. Back in Alpha 16, you could make yourself a cage out of pillar 50s and you were safe as houses. You could fire through them, but the zombies couldn't get through to get to you. So they were very, very good. So now I'm hoping if I put it through like this, that maybe instead of the zombies running up, in fact, I might need to get rid of these first ones right down here, just like that. I'm only making them out of concrete. I know I usually build out of stainless steel, but I mean, you're not going to have stainless steel in survival. And if this is going to be kind of the weak point of the base, I need to test that. So hopefully I'll run up here and kind of get stuck right into the gap here. And not only will they get stuck and like be slowed down or whatever by the pillars, but they'll get held in the same place. I think that's kind of the important part. If you're like me and a terrible shot with any sort of bow or firearm, then you need them to stay perfectly still so you can line up your shot for as long as you need to make sure you get those sweet, juicy, clunky headshots. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for here. So that's kind of the idea. It will take some like some maintenance to get the Pillar 50s back up for the next Horde night, but I mean, if you've got like a decently well running and efficient kind of concrete factory, making a bunch of Pillar 50s won't be much at all. In fact, how much does a Pillar 50 cost? Let's see, concrete Pillar 50, I'm going to assume, there it is, it's 10. So what, this is like 200 concrete? Not that much at all. If you've got 7 days to replenish 200 concrete and you can't do that, you got some other issues. So with the first test built, it's time to introduce you to the new guinea pig of Jawoodle Park. It's been well documented, the troubles that I've had with Arlene, her little rendezvous with the cowboy, or multiple cowboys over here. So Arlene is in the past. No more Arlene for me, and no more cowboy for me. I am moving on. I'm taking my life and I'm going on the up and trying to improve it any way I can. So instead of relying on old mate Arlene like I always have, it is time to enter my slutty phase. I'm coming out of my like hardcore relationship, like stable world like phase, and I'm moving straight into my slutty cheerleader phase. So welcome everyone to Chelsea the cheerleader. She will be my new best friend in all my tests going forward until I find her shacked up in a room with several cowboys. Whatever, there we go. Put a bunch of them in. They're all standing on top of each other. It's like a dream come true. So if I stand down here and give myself a shotgun, let's give me that and let's give me that. That's all I kind of need for now. Let's just see how this works out. Load that up with, oh, that's not a button, with slugs instead of buckshot. Press the button. No, jeez, not Arlene. Uh-oh, I've already called her the wrong name. She's gonna be mad at me later. Chelsea, if you wouldn't mind, would you come up and please test out the pillars? Yep, there we go, right in the middle. So you can just sit there. I can sit back at the other end of the corridor and just pep it out. So soon, oh, hey, get off the top. You're not supposed to get up on the top. That is a no Chelsea zone up there. Stay away from the top of my corridor. I'm gonna have to build something to stop me getting up there, aren't I? Man, I love ragdolls so much. Look how far away they flew off the top of here. That's freaking fantastic. All right, I need, let's just go like a plate for now. Let's just put something up the top here just to stop them jumping up. I don't want them up here. This is not where they're supposed to be. You're supposed to be down in the bottom, slugging your way through, trying your best to make it all the way through the corridor to get to me. That's the only thing I've asked you. It's the only part of your routine you have to master. I know I called you Arlene. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I misspoke. I said the wrong name. You can be mad at me as much as you like, but just do this one thing for me first, then you can get pissy at me. There we go. That looks much more secure. It's now like a killing cave instead of a killing corridor, but I kind of like it. I might have to make this upgrade to the normal killing corridor and all my other series and bases and stuff like that. This seems like a good idea to have. It might make Molotovs a little bit harder. That's something I should try, actually. Can you throw a Molotov down the middle of all the pillars? I can test that in a second, because right now, I have to test to see if Chelsea... Now, I've got the name like sunk in my head to make sure I always say it right. See if Chelsea can beat her way down here without jumping up on the top now. Are you guys on your way? What are you doing over there? I'm over here. Look, I'll put one in the air. There you go. You got your attention. There. Wait, where are you going? What are you doing? Why aren't you following the corridor? Oh, fucking ball sacks. Did I break it? I feel like I broke my design by putting a roof on top. Ah, this is why you get testings in Jawoodle Park before you do anything else. Although maybe standing here stops them? I don't know. Still... Nah, okay. I definitely broke it. Whoops. Well then. Turns out that was a bad idea. I've made it a little bit taller to try and give them like, to make them think that maybe there's some more space going through here than there actually is. I completely forgot about the most recent update. The update they did in 17.2 changed the way that the zombies think again in the AI, so that now they take the shortest path. So now they're looking at this and thinking, this is a solid wall and I can't get through here. It's going to take too long. Which is annoying, because it means that this idea is a little bit harder than I thought it was. I don't know why it worked that first time. Maybe because they could jump over the top, but a lot of the Chelseas did get stuck at the start of the pillars and start beating their way through before a couple of them jumped up onto the top of it. So I'm not sure. We'll have to do some more tests, but that's the whole reason we are here. Put a couple of Chelseas down. Go back over to the end of my little platform over here. That was the wrong button. There we go. Shoot him over there. Come, no. No, go the other way. Go the other way, Chelsea, you slut. For goddamn... Oh, go in here. Look, don't you want to go in your home? Are you too good for your home? Since I only really started to have trouble since I put that roof on, I've taken the roof off. It's still 3 high, so they shouldn't be able to jump up there. So we'll see how that goes. We'll put a bunch of Chelseas out here. I almost called her Arlene again. I really did. Oh boy, that's going to get me in so much trouble until it becomes habit again. Okay, they're all out there. Let's get them rocking and rolling. Get the shotgun out. Go bang. Get their attention. Where they're going to go this. Yes! Okay, so it's just the roof that has the issue then. And do they... So yep, they slow. Okay, so some of them get stuck into the middle. Get down off the roof. Get down off the roof, Chelsea. That's not where you belong. Let's go back into my body and see if we can actually do some damage here. But yeah, if they're just... I will never get over Ragdoll. So if they just like stay down there, I can do most of my damage from here. There's a little bit of an issue with them climbing up the top and getting over the top of it, but like, that's pretty perfect. That's working about how I wanted it to. It's holding them in the middle for me to get good headshots so I can do as much damage as I can as quickly as I can. Still gotta find a way to stop getting over the top though. That's the only issue that I'm foreseeing here. I've made another little adjustment. I was thinking that maybe their AI was getting cooked because there wasn't any gap at all. There wasn't actually any clear blocks between the pillars and the roof. And I was thinking that the entire thing was one solid wall, so they didn't want to go through it. So instead, I've put an empty gap all the way down here. It's not big enough for them to get through, but it's big enough for them to hopefully get tricked, or their AI to get tricked, so they think that this is the right way to go. So I am down on my platform down there. I've already got their attention, so please, Chelsea, if you wouldn't mind, would you come and test my new design for me? No, you're all just... There we go. Fire the shotgun at the distance. Up the... Yes, look at that. Perfect. And now they can't get on top of each other's heads because they're blocked in by the bars. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, let's go back in my body down here. Oh, get out of the ground to see if I can do any sort of decent damage. So if they were coming down... I mean, look, they're going to do a fair amount of damage. This isn't as redundancy-proof as the actual killing corridor is, but you could probably do a fair bit of damage here, get a lot of XP before it came to that. And you could probably even, in fact, that's not about it. Like, hey, what are you doing up there? Get down from up there. But you could probably turn this into a pretty effective killing corridor. You wouldn't have the barbed wire like normal that you probably rely on, although maybe you could. Maybe you could make it. Oh, that's a good idea. Get out. What are you doing? Stop breaking down my floor. I like that idea better. Okay, I've had a brainwave. I have an idea. We can make this work better, bruh. So here's what I've done. I've effectively just like bastardized the killing corridor. I've got my barbed wire down the bottom here to slow them down. And I've got my half block drop at the end here. A little bit further up than I would normally build it because I'm thinking I want this last little bit here to be like a guaranteed drop kind of thing. They'll still drop relatively easy anyway. But when they hit this last set of pillars, there's a drop right underneath them so they'll fall through there. Oh, got my cameras upside down every day of the week. So that's kind of like the best of both worlds all built into one. A little bit different, but hopefully it'll work relatively nicely. So, Chelsea, if you wouldn't mind, would you please come and join me in the corridor? Yep, no, they're all coming in. That's good. They can't get up the top. Also good. So they're going to take the time beating their way down. Not only are they slower now, but they can't get up the top. That's good. I like it. I like it a lot. So I can stand here and just blow them away all day long. Easy as you like. This is free XP. This is going to be the best. That's so good. That worked exactly how I wanted it to. Sure, there was a little bit of like hurdles along the way, but that's fine. You're not going to blow off one of your legs. You're going to have to crawl down the bottom. Come to me. Come underneath the pillars and come down the end of the corridor for me, love. I'm ready for you. That's actually really good. Like, even a crawler doesn't, like, go underneath the pillars. They still try and break their way through all the pillars, which takes them a very, very long time. That's... Oh, God, I'm sorry. I was looking straight up your skirt there, Chelsea. I didn't really mean to do it. All right, put that in misery. That works perfectly. So, like, the best thing about that is, like, if you get a really big horde, they'll gradually beat their way through all the pillars, which is fine. But then once all the pillars are gone, you still have just a regular killing corridor anyway. So you can get all the benefit of easy headshots all the way through until they get to the very end. In fact, let's test it right at the end. Let's get rid of all of these, just all the way down, and see what happens like at the end of a horde night, for example. Say they've overrun you, and everything's going wrong, and they get right down to the last couple of pillars. What's going to happen when shit's really on the line? That's what I want to know. Here they come, almost to the pillars. So they get to the last ones. I'll let them just kind of break their way through. In fact, I'll do them a solid and I'll just kind of get it out of their way for them. Just like that and like that. Okay, what happens there? Get to the last set of pillars and are you gonna drop down? Can you please drop down? Oh, they're on, a couple of them do. They're on the last little lip of that half block. Ah, that's not quite as perfect as I was hoping. I mean, eventually they'll break those pillars and they'll fall down anyway. That's okay, we just go like this, and then, yep, they fall down. So then, yeah, once all the pillars are gone, you just have a regular bloody killing corridor again. I like that. I like that you can like make an addition to it. If you've got the resource, if you've got the spare concrete, you can make that and then you'll be right as rain. You can just sit here all day and blow them away all the way to your heart's content. Just like, oh god, that was a hip fire headshot. I feel kind of bad about that. And you can just... What? You can blow away so hard they get stuck in the ceiling. That's fantastic. How you doing, love? Just hanging out? Just waiting for me to knock off? Yeah, no, don't even worry about it. I knew you were flexible, but this is taking it to a whole other level. I've spawned in a bunch more Chelseas because there's one last thing, I talked about it before, that I want to test, and that is, can you throw a molly through the middle of the pillar 50? So we'll get her attention all the way down here, boop, just like that, and get her to come up the stairs. Alright, so they're down there. Can I throw a molly down the guts? Can I get down to the end between all the pillars? Huh? Ow! No, I definitely can't. I set myself on fire immediately. That's a shame. I mean, I'd love to be able to, like, if you could hit that gap, I would love to be able to hit a molly all the way down to the end there and, like, do as much damage as possible. Could you just aim up to the roof, maybe? No, okay, so the Molotovs are kind of out of the question, or unless you can hit that gap. There's one little gap down there that you probably can hit, but it's a tough shot. But yeah, mollies are probably out of the question until most of the pillars are gone. Once the pillars are gone, you can use mollies to your heart's content, but I wouldn't be busting them out too early because that's a great way to burn off your own skin. Right, well that works a charm. I love that. I mean, you gotta do like a bit more construction onto the standard killing corridor, but like as like a further down the road improvement, like when the hordes start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you need that juicy headshot awesomeness. That's a perfect build for it. Look at that. Just line them up all day. Don't have to worry about anything. Just get headshot after headshot after headshot. It's fucking perfect. Well, there you go. I came in to find out if you could make like a headshot funnel with the pillar 50s, and it turns out you definitely can. Just kind of a word of advice that if you're going to build something like this, like if you're going to, especially a raised platform, make sure the blocks down here are as strong as you can possibly make it. This needs to be the hardest point of your base so they don't decide it'd be quicker for them to break down your building rather than come through the pillar 50s through here. So you need to make sure that's nice and strong and much stronger than the pillars themselves. I used concrete pillars. Wood would work. They get through them rather quickly, but wood would work. I'd maybe go like reinforced wood, maybe even iron. I'm not sure. Like, do some experiments yourself and see which one you want to go with, because you want it to be weak enough for them to think they can tear through it to get through, but strong enough to slow them down enough that you can get those juicy headshots. So it's all kind of up to you what you want to do. If you don't have the resources for concrete, then yeah, maybe reinforced wood or iron is the go. But we got the results we were hoping for. We found a good way to get some excellent XP and some easy headshots on the zombie hordes. So I'll have to come back and build some more experiments in the new 17.3 update in another episode, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to all the patrons of Patreon who made this episode possible. If you liked, make sure to like button down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter if I don't talk to you there first. I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.